estimated 64% of all crimes are solved thanks to public help. It's only by acting together that we can beat crime. By joining Neighbourhood Watch, Street Watch or Neighbourhood Constables, you can help the police to stop crime in your neighbourhood. To find out how, please phone for a booklet.
There was the advert on the telly. There was a time when it almost seemed the fashion to be in a neighbourhood watch group and had those window stickers as well that you'd put on your front room window to highlight the fact that you were part of a neighbourhood watch, all in somebody's front room. Maybe there was a bit of a gathering discussing crime in your area, and often with the local bobbies popping up for a chat as well. Well, there are still many neighbourhood watch groups in the county, now under the name of NottsWatch. In fact, there are 585 schemes that are still operating in the city and county.
It certainly used to be the case as well that if you lived in a neighbourhood watch area, the value of your house could even be increased. However, these are different times, aren't they? And it does sound like the name's evolved and maybe the whole process of what Neighbourhood Watch does has evolved as well. In this era of social media, so much information being shared on sites like Facebook, is Neighbourhood Watch really still relevant in 2017? Sue Campbell is Chair of NottsWatch, as it's now known. Hello, Sue. Morning to you.
Hello, it's Sue Sambells.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. So, what challenges do you now face then as crime is becoming more than just shed break-ins and that kind of thing?
That's true, yeah. Okay, so we do face challenges. It would be silly to say that we don't. Obviously, in terms of the police, we've always had a really close working relationship with the police, but obviously they've had reductions in their resources and time, so their ability to support us has reduced. And also the types of crimes and audiences that we all need to reach have changed. And so we're not always seen as relevant because a lot of our Neighbourhood Watch members are still very preoccupied, inevitably, with shed break-ins, burglaries, car crime and so on. But there are now new crimes, cybercrime, hate crime, modern slavery, domestic violence. So our role is as much as supporting and giving information and letting people know where they can get help from. Also, numbers. We need volunteers. Neighbourhood Watch schemes are set up by the membership, by the people in the community, and it needs someone to do that. And a lot of people are very much, well, somebody else can do that. So unless you get the people to set up the scheme and to run it, then you haven't got a scheme. And sadly, you know, it does tend to be people who are retired, which may well move on or die, and then a scheme is no longer in existence. So these are kind of our challenges.
I'm a member of quite a few groups on Facebook for individual areas around Nottinghamshire, and you often see on those groups people sharing little bits of information about crime. Have you seen these people? This happened the other day. So is that how things are evolving as well? So even when it does come to shed break-ins, actually it's moving online rather than being something that would be reported in a different kind of way?
Yeah, well, we did move online about a decade ago, really, because that's when the Neighbourhood Alert was introduced, which people can sign up to and they can get information via email. And Notts Police have their own Facebook page, they have their own Twitter page. NottsWatch, we have a Facebook page, we have a Twitter page. Lots of individual schemes have Facebook pages or they use WhatsApp groups. It's really up to the individual group to decide how they, you know, their membership wants to get their information. And I think that's the important thing. As long as people do receive information and it's correct and accurate information and they know how to give the police information, it doesn't really matter what format it takes. So some people might prefer a meeting, some people might prefer to do it digitally. The one downside, though, I've noticed with Facebook is that you do often get these horror stories. You read something, you say, oh, gosh, must pass that on. And people don't always check the credibility of the source. Now, Hoaxslayer is really useful for this because if you just type in the start of one of these messages into Hoaxslayer, it often comes up and says, oh, yeah, this started off 2 years ago. It's been doing the rounds, but it's not true. So whilst Facebook is great, and I would really recommend that people find communication that suits them, it is important that you check your source and you're not scaring people and you're passing on accurate information.
Yeah. What about the police side of this? Because Neighbourhood Watch used to have that kind of collaboration, didn't it? So it wasn't just the community looking out the windows, it was also the police being involved in that community and regular visits from police officers, that kind of thing. Does that still happen?
Well, actually, a friend of mine has just had a situation where her daughter's car was keyed, and she said the police response was very good. It wasn't a visit, it was a telephone call, but they were very helpful. the police have to prioritise at the end of the day. If it's going to be something like a shed break-in or a garage break-in, the chances are you're not going to get a visit. But, the police do still support us. Since the summer, the neighbourhood inspectors have been issuing blogs. So each area, if you go onto the Notts Police website and your area, each different beat area has got a neighbourhood link set up, and the inspector will put a blog out each month. So they're worth reading. I've just read ours from this month, and he's talked about the different arrests that have been made and the progress that's been made. And we also get a local update. It's not dead on every month. It's every few weeks. But then we'll hear sort of locally how many crimes have been from our local police officer. So we do still get that information.
Would you like more, though?
Yeah, of course. Who's going to say no, we don't want more? In a perfect world, we'd have double the police that we used to have, and we would have them attending meetings as we used to have. But, we have to live with what we've got.
And presumably you'd like double the number of members that you have at the minute. So how do you do that? How do you attract new blood?
Okay, so at the moment, we've got a Join Us campaign. So if anybody, and when I say anybody, I'm not just talking about people who are retired. I'm talking about anybody from 16 up, particularly students who are thinking about ways of building up their CVs for when they go to university or to get a job. We've got lots of opportunities, not just in Neighbourhood Watch. So if anybody goes to www.nottswatch.co.uk/join us, they'll see all the information they need there, the frequently asked questions and the job roles, and that includes a publicist and an event planner. So they're not just Neighbourhood Watch roles. So I would encourage anyone who's got the slightest interest to have a look there. In terms of just setting up a scheme, all the information again is on our website, nottswatch.co.uk, and contact us. All the details are there, and we'll be happy to support people.
Sue Sambles, thank you, Chair of NottsWatch on BBC Radio Nottingham.
It's 29 minutes past 8 now, on the way.